They brought Chalupas and Crunchwrap Supremes, hoping to win over British appetites with crunchy shells and late-night comfort food. But when Taco Bell finally arrived in the UK, it didn't spark excitement or outrage or even much curiosity. Instead, most people barely noticed it was there. Walk into a Taco Bell in Britain, and chances are you'll hear the soft hum of a refrigerator louder than any customer chatter. People ask why these places always feel empty or joke that the food tastes like disappointment wrapped in cardboard. And yet, Taco Bell isn't giving up. In fact, they're doubling down with one of the strangest fast food expansion plans the UK has seen in years. So, how did we get here? Why is Britain ghosting the bell? And can anything save it before it becomes the next UK fast food disaster? So, first off, this isn't Taco Bell's first rodeo in the UK. They originally tried to break into the British market all the way back in 1986, but the early attempt fizzled out fast. It's hard to sell crunchy tacos when barely anyone even knows what they are. It wasn't until 2010 that Taco Bell returned to the UK with a more serious strategy. Backed by parent company Yum Brands, the same folks behind KFC and Pizza Hut, they opened a new store in the Lakeside shopping centre in Essex. The idea was to ride the American fast food wave sweeping through Europe at the time. McDonald's had long been entrenched, KFC was thriving, and even Five Guys was starting to make a splash. Surely Taco Bell could wedge its way in, right? Well, not exactly. Despite steady expansion with over 100 locations now across the UK, Taco Bell still feels like a brand that hasn't quite found its place. You've probably walked past locations that feel completely deserted, more like abandoned waiting rooms than restaurants. Or maybe you decided to actually go inside and were met with cold food, painfully slow service, and meals that taste like someone tried to recreate Mexican food after hearing about it secondhand. So what's going wrong? First off, there's a massive culture gap. In the US, Taco Bell thrives as a late-night post-party food haven. Cheap, cheesy, and customizable. It's what you grab at 1 a.m. when dignity has already left the chat. But in Britain, the late-night fast food scene belongs to kebab shops and that last sad battered sausage at the Chippy, which looks like it's been sat out since Thatcher was in number 10. Taco Bell tried to bring over its American identity with the same menu, same branding, same vaguely chaotic energy, but it didn't translate. Brits aren't craving Doritos Locos Tacos. They're craving something familiar, or at least something that's hot when it arrives. That brings us to the second issue, execution. Even people who like the brand say the UK locations miss the mark with service that drags and food that tends to show up lukewarm at best. The biggest complaint though is that the flavor just doesn't live up to expectations. Now here's where it gets really wild, because despite all this, Taco Bell is still trying to grow in the UK. In fact, they've committed to opening more than 200 new locations across the country by 2030. The UK remains one of the few major fast food markets that isn't already packed with Mexican-inspired chains. There's no Del Taco or Guzman y Gomez in sight, and Chipotle is just a minnow with only 20 outlets, which on paper makes it the perfect environment for Taco Bell to thrive. But that's assuming Brits actually want what they're selling. But so far, the demand isn't exactly lighting up the drive-thru. So now Taco Bell's shifting gears. They're trying promotions, limited time offers, and UK exclusive items. In 2023, they tested out crispy chicken nuggets, which isn't exactly Mexican, but hey, it worked for McDonald's. They've even tried selling alcohol in some stores. But even these stunts have struggled to gain traction, because the problem is the lack of identity. In the US, Taco Bell has a clear identity. It's fast, a little chaotic, and proudly weird in a way that people find charming. In the UK though, the brand feels stripped of that personality. It comes across as corporate and flat, like someone tried to bring a quirky internet joke to life but lost the humor somewhere along the way. And then there's the pricing. In America, Taco Bell is famously cheap. You can walk out with a full meal for $5 and still have change for cinnamon twists. But in the UK, a basic meal deal can run upwards of £8. That's more than McDonald's, more than Burger King, sometimes even more than Nando's. For food that many say feels microwaved. It's a tough sell. Let's also not forget, Britain has a long and complicated relationship with Mexican food. or rather, the lack thereof. It's never had the same cultural penetration it has in the US. Mexican cuisine didn't grow alongside immigration waves the same way Indian, Chinese, or Middle Eastern food did in the UK. So there's less familiarity and less nostalgia. That makes Taco Bell feel less like comfort food and more like a strange American import nobody really asked for. But despite all this chaos, there's still potential. Taco Bell can work in the UK, but not by copying the US model. It needs to be localized. Unlike McDonald's or KFC, which have been part of British high streets and childhood memories for decades, Taco Bell has zero nostalgic pull. For most Brits, the name doesn't spark anything beyond vague curiosity or confusion. And that's a huge hurdle in a market built on familiarity. People tend to stick with what they know, especially when they're hungry. Fast food is supposed to be comfort food, and that comfort usually comes with recognition. At the same time, Taco Bell needs to embrace what sets it apart instead of chasing McDonald's or trying to play it safe. Taco Bell has the branding chops to pull this off. Their US marketing is legendary with absurd Twitter banter, surprise drops, and weird collabs. That energy is totally missing in their UK operations. Taco Bell's core demographic in the US is Gen Z and late millennials. That crowd exists in the UK too. They're the same ones driving Greg's vegan sausage roll craze and reviving 2000s Y2K fashion. If Taco Bell can finally get that lot on board by properly finding its place in UK culture, then they might stand a chance. But another completely separate issue quietly dragging Taco Bell down in the UK is the inconsistency caused by its franchise model. Franchises often vary wildly depending on who's in charge. That means one branch might be halfway decent, while the one 2 miles away is an unmitigated disaster. When the food is cold in one city and passable in another, that unpredictability turns off potential regulars. And it's not just about the food. Cleanliness, service speed, how staff interact with customers, all of it varies. That's a direct reflection of how little oversight exists once a location is franchised out. Without strong operational support or accountability, the brand starts to feel fragmented. That fragmentation is especially damaging in a country where Taco Bell is still trying to introduce itself. If someone's first experience is bad, there might not be a second. So, can Taco Bell be saved in the UK? Yes, but only if they stop treating it like an American franchise in a British postcode. They need to reimagine what Mexican-inspired fast food can mean for UK tastes. Innovate, localize, and win over some hearts and minds. Or, at the very least, get the food out hot and on time. So as Taco Bell presses ahead with its big expansion, one thing's clear. They're either about to pull off one of the greatest comebacks in UK fast food history, or they're going to become a case study in how not to do globalization. The clock is ticking, the chalupas are cooling, and the UK is still waiting for a reason to care. But what do you reckon? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. And if you enjoyed the video, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and tap the bell so you don't miss any more proper deep dives like this one. Cheers for watching, and we'll catch you next time.